You should be very welcome to this live vlog in 1DV527, the web best and application platform, and a very warm welcome to you, Francis.
Thank
Sitting
you.
at home, it looks like. Yep,
Yes.
that's good. Me as well. I have my green screen ready in the background since I'm more or less feeling like a TV presenter host nowadays. It's kind of the only thing I do since I'm involved in 3 courses. There is a lot of vlogging and a lot of lectures going on. So, but today I invited you because I wanted to. I mean, we have spoken to Frederick and Martin before, and now it's beginning to be your part in the course, or we have started actually last week a bit. Some, I guess, is kind of starting with this web API. There has been a lot of focus on the essay, of course, for the first weeks, but now I think the students are transitioning to your part. So the lectures, if we start with the lectures in the course, so those were pre-recorded. It was lectures you had last year, right?
Yes, we had, I think there was my version of the lecture in English. And if I am not wrong, there was another Swedish version by another teacher. So there was this flexibility, which version of the lectures students want to follow. But obviously, some of the part of the assignments are also focused on my lectures, in addition to general rest practices.
Exactly. I saw that you added some constraints and things like and rules that I think are specific to your lectures. So of course that is the main goal is to watch those lectures, of course.
Yes.
And we also, and I can speak a little bit about that. So in the assignment, there will be some kind of need for authentication. And we had a question about this as well in the Slack channel, and I forgot to post this live lecture to the Slack channel. I will do that now. So the students taking this course right now, you have not had a lecture in JVT JOTS or basic authentication, I think, and OAuth and things like this. So we have this Web API Part 2 2019 that is actually John having a lecture about those exact things. However, this lecture has been moved to the first grade right now. So I will have that lecture tomorrow for the first graders. And so I will actually do, I plan to double post that lecture. So if you want to join that lecture tomorrow, you're free to join it together with the first graders, because we will have a kind of pragmatic view on just how to get JOT up and running in the REST API. We are not going all that deep into like language specifics and things like that, but we will get like you would get up and running by watching that lecture basically. I think it's a good thing for the web API. So tell me a little bit about this assignment. I mean the second assignment.
So the second assignment, as you all perhaps know, is designing a system or developing a system based on basic REST principles. So also on the website, you have an example system. I changed the name to this year LNU Fishing Club. It was something else before to make it more interesting. So this was just an idea. But of course, you can come up with your own system or own idea.
And it's often more fun if you do. So please do, because I'm...
Yes, and more diversified, and teachers don't get bored looking at multiple systems and so on. And the idea here is that with this concept or with this system idea, you make or develop a web-based system that is obviously based on REST APIs. So you will follow various REST constraints. You will implement Hateao's linking principle, resource linking principle. You should implement some HTTP methods as part of your API. Obviously, there can be authentication based on what you have learned, but these are the basic parts of the assignment. But on the flexibility part of the assignment, you should make your system, and that is, I think, from the teacher side is more important. You should make your system more testable, or so that the teachers can test your system with least minimum efforts. And if your system is not testable, it doesn't matter how bad or how good you developed your system. And obviously, there are other criteria that you should follow. There are two sections on the assignment. One is the mandatory requirements that deals with REST principles, REST constraints, testability, plagiarism, how should you submit your code, and so on. But there is also another part that is the linguistic design quality of your APIs. So you not only implement or develop your API to be functional, but you also need to design your resource namings, your URI design, and so on, by following some design practices or good design practices. And there are 13 rules. In the lectures, there are many more, but I thought maybe for this assignment, you should implement the basic or the least minimum things that is easy to remember. So I list those 13 rules as a linguistic design quality. And you can, I think, pick 5, if I remember correctly. So you can pick any 5 of them and choose to implement whichever you think is interesting to implement or easy to implement, and so on. But if you want to implement more, that's more than welcome. But if you don't implement at least 5, then it will be considered as incomplete assignment or FX.
Yeah.
That grade you will receive. And in terms of report, there is also some defined criteria how you will present your report or submit your report. Maybe Yuan can also mention about GitLab.
Yep, I will.
After, but I added a new points in the report apart from the previous year. That's number 8. If you follow the project or assignment description, under the report part, the number 8 says you should have a document, a text document or any other document, where you will list all your URIs and their corresponding descriptions together with their HTTP methods. So what that method does using a resource URI, you can explain like in 2, 3 or a couple of sentences. And if you have 4 HTTP methods and let's say 10 URIs, so there should be a combination of those HTTP methods and URIs, and you should describe in combination of these methods and URIs what they do individually.
Yeah, and it's really important to point out that in the repositories that we generated for you, this 8th point is not in that document. So you need to refer to the course webpage for the 8th separate requirement in this report. So just make sure that you don't miss that, because we generated the repos before this 8th amendment, if you can say, was added. So please make sure that you have read that one.
So is it the report or for example from 1 to 7? So should it be in the same document?
I can actually show that. For all of you, I think you are new to this, even you, Francis, because this is a system that we have tried for the first graders this year, and it works really well. And that is, instead of handing in separate documents and things like that, when you make your hand in, you will be presented with a template that you fill in. You can, of course, answer all of those questions in a separate MD file or document if you like, and just copy and paste the answers in when you do the hand-in. And I will show how that works. Hopefully I will make it work, at least if I have one. So if we go to the course GitLab and we enter, and now I'm probably logged in as my teacher's account, so I will see every project, but that will probably be okay. And do I have a student project in this one? Oh, I don't. Darn it. I wasn't prepared enough. Then okay, so I'll just show it on another course. That doesn't matter at all. So if I go to this course and I go to my student account, that one. So basically what you will have something like this. It will be named differently, of course, and you have your second assignment. It will be a project inside of your student folder, and it's in this project you work. So you just open that project. You will find the README file with the assignment. However, observe that the 8th point is not available in that assignment. You just clone this assignment. You work with the assignment just as you are used to with Git. But when it comes to handing in before deadline, we have a separate flow, and I will document this as well for you. But I will show it now so you know what to expect. What you do basically is that you do a merge request on your own repository. So a merge request, we use merge request if you are participating in a open source project, for instance. You're not, of course, not. You don't have the access to just change things in the open project. So what you do is you do a fork, you work in your own fork, and then you do a merge request and ask, is it okay to add those changes into the open source project? And then an administrator needs to pass or fail that request.
So you don't directly commit, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So what we do is we do a merge request. We create a new merge request. What you will see is that you need to specify which branch you have worked in, and it's probably master if you didn't do anything else. We recommend you just working in master. Of course, you can do feature branching and things like that if you like. That's totally fine. But we choose to merge master into release. And this is kind of the indication of that you want to do the hand-in. And you click compare branches and continue. In your case, you can just add like submission or assignment 1 or something like that.
Assignment 2.
Yeah, it's 2 actually. That's correct. In your case, I think this description will be pre-filled. And it will be pre-filled with a release report. It will look something like this. And this is actually what we refer to as the report. You will have questions like, this is not the same, of course, since it's another assignment, but it will look something like this. So reflection, and then there is HTML comment just saying your thoughts on the assignment, and this is where you place your text about that one. Extras in this case, and in your case is all of those questions that.
So what about if I attach a file?
Of course you could, if you don't want to write it here. I mean, then that's basically up to you, Francis.
Okay.
So if you as a student don't want to add the here, then you could actually just remove this and make sure that you have a clickable link to the document, so that we find that inside of the assignment report. Actually, leave the assignment report part and then add like, and you do links in MD like this. So link to my report. So that's also fine. And then you need to make sure that that link works, of course. So how, if the report is any other where than written here, then just add a link. The next thing you do is that you need to attach a milestone, and the milestone is the deadline of which you want to make the hand in. And in my case, I might say that, okay, it's this förnyad examination B1. Okay, so I make that my goal for handing in this assignment. That is basically it. Then you submit the merge request. Now it's submitted, and you know that it is because it's open. You don't need to add a reviewer or anything. I will take care of that part. You would probably need to fill in this. I forgot, but you will need to set an X in those boxes to tick them to say that, okay, I'm the one that has created the code. It's me that have written this. I haven't stolen it from anyone else. So you need to like make sure that you click that. And then here is my report. Strange, I wrote that the wrong way around, actually, I hope. You can always, and this is a good thing, you can always edit this one after you hand it in. If you do that after deadline, however, that's not a good thing, because we have an automatic system that tracks if you're handing in before deadline or after deadline. So writing that in the correct order, updating, of course, that's fine. So this is the view that you, Francis, will see as well. You will see, and if the student write their faults here, you see it directly in the assignment report, or you get a link to the report. We have, in this case, we have automatic testing and linting and things like that. We don't have that on that REST API assignment, because it's really hard to do for us to determine the tests, because we don't even know what kind of languages you use. And what happens next is basically in this, you can have a threaded discussion about this. Francis, you can write comments here, and I will go into detail about this later on. We can even do code reviews, so we can have a look at what has been changed in this one. Is this something we need to comment on? We can comment directly in the code. No, I'm not sure. Yeah, that was a long file. So I can actually write comments directly inside of here to make a proper code review. And those comments will be shown at the start page. We can see the number of commits. If we have a pipeline, we can see the pipeline. And as always, when you work with assignments like this, we have problem with plagiarism sometimes, and we discussed that earlier, not in this course, but in other courses. So it's really important that you are able to show a complete commit history, that you are actually the one that has written this from the start to the end. So make sure that you have a good commit history. And I would say that on an assignment of this scale, I mean, you probably don't have less than 30-40 commits or something like that. You will probably end up maybe over the hundreds, and that's totally fine. Don't be afraid to do a lot of commits. And this is
so yep. If the students wants to add an extra file to their assignment,
then you just push as usual. If you add anything, if I add anything to the master branch at this time, or fix a bug or something, we will see a log down here. It will basically say Johan Leited added the file so it will be automatically added to the submission. However, if you submit anything after deadline, this one, the check deadline box, will be red. And then it's basically up to you, Francis, to say that, okay, this was a failed attempt, or it's okay, it was just a minor fix after deadline. That's totally fine. But as long as you do it before deadline, this one will be green. So then it's not a problem. And you don't need to edit the merge request. If you do, you just push the master and everything will just automatically be added. So it's quite simple. And one for the students, it's really important that you don't merge this merge request. If you merge the merge request disappears. We are working for a system that you should not be able to do that, but of course, you are a developer on your own repository, so you're allowed to merge your own merge requests. So don't click merge, because that will remove the merge request, and don't close the merge request, because then it will also disappear. What Francis will do when he has assessed and it's passed, then you will close them.
The marches.
And we have some labels to just add, so I can say that examines the said complement or assessing, that one we never use, or failed, or as often as possible we hope that you get a passed grade. So if I do that, then it's an indication that this one has passed. And I can also you will probably end up, Francis, with like let's see, you're not part of this course, of course, but I will add you as a reviewer. So you will basically get a to-do list on all the assignments that you need to look at. So it will be a really smooth process for you. So
my question was basically, if you go to the assignment, there was number 8 from the report item.
Yeah.
So if they want to add a text file or a CSV file or any other files,
this one,
or JSON files, whatever.
So that one.
Yes.
Just do exactly as it says. Create that file. Make sure you add it to the repository. Make sure you add it, and I guess add it to the root of the repository. Just to here. I can actually do that right now, just to show. I can do it in the web terminal. So I will add a file. I will name it, I don't remember what it said, but something like API documentation.txt, something like that.
Yes.
And in this one, I add my documentation to this file. I commit it to the master branch, like that. Now it's...
So they have to do it manually.
Yeah, or they do that. Yeah, that one is not included from the start, so you need to add that manually to the instructions. And if we look at the merge request now, we can see that hopefully we will have a commit saying we added this document. So it will be automatically included in the handling process. So yeah. Good. I will write instructions. I think I've already did actually. Did I do that? Yeah. So just follow along on those instructions and ask me if you have any questions about the handing in of the assignment. I will handle that part. So Francis will focus on looking at the handed in assignments.
Assessment or assessment only, yes.
Great. Is there anything to add to this assignment more than, of course, please try to find your own API for something that you are interested in. It's always more fun than to look at this Fisherman Club. I've probably assessed 100 Fisherman Club APIs, so I'm quite bored with it.
I think we also did not mention about Newman and Postman.
Yeah, that's good. So as you said, Francis, it's one requirement is to actually make the API testable in a good way. And when we are developing APIs, it's not like we are writing a client for the API, because I mean that's up to others to do, or for us, but that's a separate assignment. So you're not supposed to create, I mean, I guess if you want, you could, but you're not supposed in the assignment to create a graphical interface or something like that on a web page, because we are focusing on the API part. And to be able to test that, the easiest way is to use Postman or of course you can use curl in the terminal if you like, but Postman is really nice way of structuring the endpoints and making a flow so that you can log in, and the access tokens will automatically be updated in Postman, and you don't need to send them with every request. Postman will do that for you, things like that. So I would urge you to use Postman. And Newman is I'm not sure if it's called a plugin in Postman, but it's like a tool that you can work with together with Postman. Of course, it's a pun on Seinfeld, since Newman in Seinfeld is a postman. But that is a tool that you can basically write tests for your API. So you write the tests and run them with Newman, and then you will get test reports. So I would probably recommend you to try to do that, because then you will fill that requirement of the testability of the API.
Yes, that was good to add.
Other than that, I mean, of course, if you have questions, just drop them in Slack. Francis, you have some tutoring sessions, right? This planned for this week?
Yes, I had already planned from the previous week, but I haven't received much interest.
No, I guess everybody was
sessions.
focusing on the deadline for the
Yes.
essay last week, but you had a tutoring session last Friday or something like that, right?
Yeah, this week and also next week maybe I have tutoring sessions also.
So Wednesday at 15:15 and Friday 15:15. So
Yes.
so then you are prepared to take questions, and I think you have kind of an open Zoom room or something like that, right? Yep.
Yes, either in my Zoom room or I will post it when the time comes again. So I post every session that I will be opening.
Perfect. So just look in the Slack channel. And of course, as I said, I have a lecture tomorrow afternoon if you're interested in the authentication part of the API. So please join that if you like. Just like looking forward, so you have this whole week to work with the API. You have the next week. You even have the week after that, but then I think we will transition over to the project part. So I mean, if I were you, I would probably, where is the deadline for the API? Of course, good, perfect. That was what I thought. The deadline for the API is Wednesday the 3rd of March. So try to hold that deadline, because after that, me and Frederick, or basically most Frederick, will start with the project parts of the course, and you don't want to be late to that one, because
and also should not overlap.
No. Exactly. So the last tutoring session is not this week, but next week on Friday. So see that as your last chance to ask Francis questions on the API part. So maybe you should even set a goal to be finished with the REST API on the 26th. Then you have some spare days. So don't try to make everything work the last hour, because that's often a disaster. Yeah, great. Anything to add, Francis, to anything?
No, I think we said pretty much everything.
Think so as well. We have an open channel on Slack, so I mean, if it's anything, just feel free to ask. So I will let you go then. Thank you for attending.
And there will be, I think, an oral after the so it will include also this assignment, right?
Yeah, I need to get back on that part, what I will add, but I think we used to have a few questions about the REST API. So and I will probably consult you in what questions to ask, because I'm the one that are doing the oral hearing for all students in this course. So, but there will be on the theory parts. So, but I mean, as usual, if you understand them for the assignment, the oral part will probably be quite easy. Great. Thank you, Francis. And
yes, thank you, Johan, and thank you, everyone. who is
see
watching.
you around, and I will probably try. Yeah, I will probably have a vlog this week as well on Friday together with Martin to reflect upon the essays that has been handed in. Martin used to want to have some kind of follow-up. The last time, warning though, that follow-up was 3.5 hours long, so it will be there a risk for being a really long vlog this Friday, but hopefully it will be a bit shorter. Now my cat wants to leave as well, so he's upset with me right now. Okay, thank you, Francis. See you around. Bye.